Welcome to Workplace Psychology with Dr. Martha Grajdek. I'm Dr. Martha Grajdek. This podcast examines a wide variety of work-related issues through the lens of industrial and organizational psychology. And while many of the topics discussed here may be seen as intended for white-collar employees and their employers, in reality, the ideas presented here are applicable across organizations and industries. Additionally, many of the topics discussed here may be applicable outside of the workplace. I encourage you to examine what's presented here, apply what makes sense to you, and simply discard the rest. Personality and personality trends can be an important consideration, especially when it comes to personality and how it may affect or influence one's experience at the workplace, but also one's career in terms of long-term development. An individual's personality, or the traits of their personality, certain traits, can affect one's behaviors. Therefore, it can affect one's performance at work, one's leadership or management style, work styles, and things such as ability to collaborate and cooperate with others at work. So whether we're looking at personality through the lens of the individual or personality as it may affect the entire organization, this is an important topic of conversation. Many of you may have heard about the Big 5 personality traits. Some of you may have participated in assessments that may have assessed your own personality traits as they relate to work, your performance, and how you interact with others. In a nutshell, the Big 5 personality traits are really talking about 5 dimensions or 5 clusters of personality variances. These 5 clusters or 5 dimensions include openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Let me go through those one by one to give you a better idea of what each of those traits entails. Let's look at openness. Someone who ranks high on this trait could be seen as an abstract thinker, someone who is creative, imaginative, curious. A person who ranks high in openness may be one that likes to experiment and try new things. They're curious and they likely embrace challenges. On the other end of the spectrum, someone who would score lower or low on this ranking of openness would tend to have a more narrow range of interests. They would be more practical than adventurous. Someone that might resist change. When we look at the trait of conscientiousness, on one hand, we may have people who are detailed-oriented, who are disciplined and reliable. On the other end of that spectrum, someone who might be spontaneous or flexible, or they might be seen as unreliable or someone who is a procrastinator. When it comes to the trait of extroversion, someone who scores higher on that particular personality trait might be seen as social, enthusiastic, adventurous, maybe even assertive or opinionated. On the other hand, someone who scores low on this personality trait would be more introverted. They would be self-sufficient, more reserved, more quiet, not as socially outgoing. Let's look at agreeableness. Someone who scores high on this personality trait is good-natured, empathetic, trustworthy and cooperative. The other end of the spectrum for this particular trait may include things such as being independent or not very cooperative, or maybe even uncooperative. This person may be overly critical or quite dominant by nature. As far as the personality trait of neuroticism, someone who scores high on this trait may be seen as a warrior, someone who's very self-conscious, maybe irritable or unstable, or even anxious. Scoring low on this trait, on the other hand, suggests a person who is calm, even-tempered, more composed. They tend to be confident and resilient. So why are personality traits such a big deal when it comes to the workplace? One of the most straightforward and basic considerations comes down to pairing the right personality with the right job or the right tasks. Certain jobs, certain tasks simply require or call for specific personality traits. And those who possess those traits may end up doing better with those jobs or those tasks. When the right traits and the right jobs or tasks are paired, that's when we tend to end up with high performers, high performing teams. We're much more likely to end up with better problem solving, better conflict solving or conflict resolution, and better communication styles, more effective communication. This is very important for individual employees, having a certain level of self-awareness where you know and understand your own personality and personality traits can help you to either make those traits shine and work for your benefit, or work on changing those things that need to be changed, so that your own personality or personality traits aren't working against you, but rather are helping you to grow and move forward in your career and in life in general. Having a certain level of self-awareness, in particular when it comes to your own personality, can help you to be happier at work, do a better job at work, advance within your career, and improve your own job performance. And while all of those things, of course, are beneficial to the individual employee, it's important to remember that this is also the kinds of considerations that are good for the organization as well. This is where employer awareness comes into play. Organizations will do well to understand the personalities of their employees so that they can pair the right personality with the right job or the right tasks, so that they can pair the right people on teams. Not only do the individuals benefit from such organization of people, personalities, and requirements, but the organization benefits as well. It's no surprise then that many organizations do engage in personality assessment testing. However, far too many companies don't really do anything with the results of these assessments, but the opportunity lies in learning what you have as far as your resources within your own workforce. So just as an individual can leverage their own personality and personality traits to benefit them, their experiences, and their career, so too can an employer leverage the same knowledge and understanding to make whatever changes and enhancements to improve not only the experience of the individual employee, but also the overall outcome for the organization. The employer has a tremendous opportunity to support the employee in such a way that they are happier and more productive. The employer can provide the kind of environment that promotes and enhances certain personality traits and certain behaviors that are related to those traits. At the same time, it can help to prevent or decrease any kind of toxic behaviors that may otherwise present themselves. If we think about an organization and what an organization is, we have to understand that it's a collection of individuals that come together for a specific purpose. Everyone has a job, everyone has a set of tasks to perform. So to ignore the personalities that are part of that collective means missing out a tremendous opportunity that benefits both individual employees and the organization as a whole. And this, once again, is why personality and personality traits are so important to consider when we look at the workplace. As this episode comes to an end, let's review what was discussed. Individual personalities at work play a tremendous role, not only for the individual success and experiences, but also for the overall success of the organization. Self-awareness is critical in order for individuals to understand their own personalities and personality traits. It is in this kind of understanding that every employee can work towards utilizing their personalities and their personality traits to enhance their experience at work and to move their careers forward in a way that they desire. At the same time, employers have a tremendous responsibility and a tremendous opportunity to gain an understanding of what they have as far as resources within their own workforce and how to pair the right personalities with the right jobs or the right tasks. It is by this successful pairing of personalities and jobs or tasks that an organization can really help to provide not only a desired experience for the employee, but also a desired greater outcome for the organization. And just to recap, the big 5 personality traits at work include openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. As the week unfolds, I encourage you to consider your own personality traits. Have you ever participated in the Big 5 personality traits assessment or something along the same lines? If you have, what did you learn? Did you apply the findings in such a way that would benefit you, your experience, and your career? And if you haven't participated in such an assessment, I invite you to check out the idea of doing so. You may be surprised at the depth of insight that you could gain. As an employer, it is absolutely up to you to take advantage of the resources that you have within your own workforce. Part of understanding of what you have is implementing assessments that reveal the kinds of personalities that you have as part of your team. As an employer, you can pair the right personalities with the right jobs in order to get the most out of everyone's efforts. And don't forget that leaders and managers have a tremendous opportunity to encourage self-awareness for all of their employees. For those of you who experience this podcast in an audio-only version, I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, Stress Free with Dr. G, where you can find the video version of the podcast. While you're there, check out some of the other videos which focus on a comprehensive approach to stress management. Stress Free with Dr. G can be found on YouTube, and the link for that is in the description below. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to this podcast. I look forward to seeing you here again next time. Until then, I wish you joy and well-being.